access points, portals, doors, black holes, holes, implants, and explants. Destroy and uncreate them all times.
So it's time for us to go to 7-Eleven, Mom.
Pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. All histories, patterns, and beliefs, destroy and uncreate them all all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. Anything remaining that needs to be cleared, destroy and uncreate at all times a godzillion. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pot, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. Anything preventing this from happening, release, join, worry, destroy and uncreate at all times.
No, this live is not going to be about what you're seeing on the thumbnail or the screen. I just have that information for something extra for some of you. Earlier, when I did a live, I encouraged you all to, before you discredit and discount something, to first and foremost learn how to, or care enough to do your own due diligence before you poop on something or you make something insignificant that may have more significance than you'll ever know. But that's not what this live is about, okay? This live is actually about a parable. And I'm gonna say, for those of you that are not familiar, I'm not a religious person. I once upon a time was. Correction, I was once upon a time someone that you would hear go around saying it's about relationship, not a religion. Okay. I was one that, had such a tight bond, walk with the Lord in prayer closet, and would get, you know, that type of stuff. Okay. And, um, you go on the deconstruction path, and people have lots of assumptions about what all that is, but that's not what this video is either. I am someone who is open to any kind of knowledge that has relevance. So just because I may not get something or 100% agree in totality with something on a whole scale, if there is something that has some relevant principles, then to me, I can glean from it and I can pull the worth and kind of parallel it or apply it energetically or whatever way I need to for it to make sense for me. I'm not rigid, so it doesn't have to be if I use this parable that I have to go here. Or if I use stoicism or this and that, I have to go all the way and lean over there. That, no, I don't. Neither do you. Okay, neither do you. So there's a parable or a story for, especially for you Bible scholars. You're gonna know what I'm talking about here. And I want to say this is New Testament, and this is pertaining to Jesus and his disciples and some of the many trips and things that they would do, especially since they were so-called, according to what we're told, they were fishermen. Okay. So there's this old favorite parable that most of you may love, especially, like I said, if you're a Bible scholar or you're Christian. And it's this whole vibe in one of the books, whether it was Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John. I can't remember exactly which one. Okay. So it was storming on the waters, kind of like crazy. And the disciples was trying to steer the ship and trying to, water was getting on the boats. They was trying to, you know, make sure that the water, like pour water out or figure out a way to make sure, they're really trying to do what a fisherman would do under those circumstances. And some of them got upset because Jesus was under the dock. I guess there's a dock or somewhere, what kind of boat they had, and they went down there to like get him to come help, and he was laying down, appearing to be asleep. He was laying down, appearing to be asleep, and they were like, "Hey, you're gonna be down here asleep? We're about to die here. What are you doing? We're over here." And according to what's the story, then Jesus gets up and he says something of, oh, like, why are y'all, like, something like that. And then he goes up there and he appears to be like he's all like command and everything. He goes up and this calm state, unlike them, and he just goes, shh, or he like does some kind of move, and like they're all like, what, and stuff. Okay. Now, I'm coming from a different angle because from an intellectual standpoint, I have atheist friends, okay, because I'm cool with all walks of life. If they're good folk, they're good folk. Okay. So I have some atheist folks that I follow on social media that would say this has conditioned humans, colonized folk, to be passive and escapism, right? To always be waiting for somebody to rescue you, basically to take away your critical thinking or to get you in this passive mode, waiting for somebody else to fix your problems. Okay. And on the religious side, I'll have folks to say, yeah, because he was the son of God and he, Jesus, so he's powerful. He don't need to be worrying about shit that we be worrying about, and you know, he can just get up and be like, and whoop. Now, here is where I come in. The thing that came to me was neither of those things as that parable came to my mind. It was neither. It was neither the intellectual side nor the religious side. It was neither. What came to me is the possibility, and I don't stake factual claim on stuff that I can't really back, okay? But the information that I have gathered about the actual being that existed and that was assassinated, okay? What their origins were really from, the man Jesus, okay? A blue. What came to me, it was more about energy and vibration as what that parable in its truest form represented. It was about the laws and the tricks of the matrix, the laws of the universe, the multiverse, the matrix, the law of resonance, the law of vibration, the law of frequency, the laws of you being interconnected. And if you can, this is what came to me. And again, I am not staking, I won't do that. I simply share what's my resonance, what comes to me, the little bit of research I have, and I adjust in life accordingly. And that frees me up for feeling like I have to be right about everything. Okay. So what I gathered was Jesus, even in that parable, the lying sleep under the dock was him regulating himself, mastering, because he was a master. This is what people don't know. The actual him, the being, okay? Mastering elements. So he was mastering his own vibration, his own frequency in the middle of turbulence, because he knew that sometimes if there's nothing that you can, if you're in a dire situation and your ability to fix it in the moment is limited, then the best thing that you can do, it wouldn't be to frolic and thrash. The best thing would be to master your energy, your vibration in the moment, because sometimes that is the remedy. Sometimes that's going to be the remedy. And if at best, or should I say at least, even if it's not the full remedy, it's going to be the remedy that helps you to get to the remedy. Because if he knew that if he mastered his frequency, if he did not allow the fear to totally consume him. That if he didn't start going frantic about, his nervous system firing off, because that's natural of the human form. If he took some deep cleansing breaths and regulated his nervous system with breath and lied still, tapped into his heart space, that might have gave him a resolve of how to help the disciples and how to, how to help, maybe a cool idea, what I'm saying, of how to deal with that, or this is what I truly believe, because this is what came. The universe responded to his mastery, but that takes a gazillion. That takes a whole lot. Oh, and I ain't got it. I mean, I don't have it all together. Okay, I'm working on it, because it's easy to talk about in theory. It's another thing to have to um, actually apply it true to life in real life situations.
Well, you're recording, man.
I know.
Yeah, no, there's no need to send me just so they know. Are you done recording?
Oh no, I'm just looking.
Just go finish recording.
I am. It's okay. You're okay. I'm just watching what the idiots do, because every time I go online, one of their retards start to do rituals.
He isn't doing nothing with me.
Now, it has to distract me. Anywho, she's online. Let's do a sleep spell. And then they wonder why some people in their life is. Anywho, back to what I'm saying. Maybe I believe that his vibration adjustment, when he got on up and said, "Peace be still," I believe that's parable for his as below, so within, something like that, kind of like his frequency was able to govern his reality, was able to help assist with of nature. Okay, possible. That's a possible theory that I have. And in our lives, as we apply it to us, why am I sharing a parable? Well, in life, especially if you're a targeted individual. If you're a targeted individual, then these folks have been basically treating you as the blue Jesus. Okay. They have been prodding, prodding, picking on your energy and your life and vibration since you were a child. And as you grow and evolve, they continue to recruit the architects and the NPCs and the karmics and whatever you want to call folks, because try not to stay there, to continue to be a part of the agenda, to keep you in an energy where you can't do what I'm telling you he did. They want to see what your abilities are. It's like a circus show for these people. Ooh, let's see if we break their heart and make them mad, and let's see what they'll do then. And ooh, let's see, if we continue to have folks to be pretend and then just drop off. Ooh, we're used to that now. I don't know why these folks don't get that yet. That's not a shock or a surprise. We are already side-eyeing people the moment we talk to them, because until they prove otherwise, they're already guilty. That's the way we feel now. Anybody can have a 5-minute conversation with you. So we're not shocked. We know what some of these people are up to. They just help to prove it. We know that when we make phone calls, we already got somebody on the back end doing some spell work or contacting these individuals. We're fully aware of this. Or playing with the technology. We know that in some cases, what they'll start to do, I can give you all a case in point of how I tested the theory. I made a phone call from my cell phone. There was an issue. I put the cell phone down, made the exact same call from a landline. There was no issue. Why? I know we like to believe that maybe was it a bad cell reception? No. What if it was none of those things? What if it's because of how easy it is to hack into mobile devices? What if when we're on landline, and depending on if you are in a business, what if I told you that, because they can trace, if you're on a business landline, they're going to be able to trace all of your activity and calls, and they can also, old school surveillance of landlines is tap in and actually pick up and come in on the call, and you'll hear that weird background energy when that happens. So what if I told you that just by that we already know? Huh?
Didn't even erupt. So finish recording.
I'm recording.
You don't have to stand up and check on me while you're recording, Mom. That's just where bad manners. I was taking a break while researching a crayon called washable markers. Mom, just finish the recording so we can get over to the store. Come on, Mom.
Go put them to sleep since they like doing sleep spells. And they gonna feel that. Now, we already know and we're already prepared. You would think that'll start, that they'd come up with some new stuff. I don't know. They don't know how. I don't know. It's the same playbook every day. Honey pots, informants. It's the same. And we're supposed to be sad and heartbroken. You can't break who's been broken and don't really expect people to be anything but trash. That dies out. That holds rever in the beginning. But at some point it dies out. It fizzles out because now it's no longer shock factor, it's expected factor. So it's not, so you're like, oh, I really don't know. It's like, another one bites the dust kind of vibe. Okay. Anywho, that's that. 19 minutes in. So play with that thought. What if it's about us practicing our vibration in the middle of this stuff? That's the one thing that terrifies all of these people, from these corrupt authorities to the individuals who's just a hater. They're terrified not out of us being loud. They're not terrified of us, threatening. They're not terrified of us when we get upset, which neither of those things are bad. I'm simply saying they're not really terrified of that. They're parasitic. They love energy. They love when you're thrashing. That's why they want you to be dealing with programs and playing with these programs to play with you, because they want you to be panting, thriving, groveling, because they love all of that. It's loosh, it's energy. It's them feeding off of your struggle. Only sickos operate that way, but I have to inform you that 80% of population is that, even if they're going to church every Sunday. I said 80%. I didn't say all, because somebody's going to go, hey, that's a little grim. I didn't say everybody. People got stuff, y'all, that they're not dealing with. And I didn't say that they were not intelligent. I didn't say that they were less than. I didn't say that they were crap or useless. I simply said it just, okay, and I'm going to be done with this. Just for fun, food for thought. I just saw 2111 on the timer. 2111. I'm going to have to look into that. Why did I? Okay, 2111. Just play with this, okay? We can put a pin in our sacred cows just for a few minutes, and then we can go back to being our stuffy stuffers and from Stuffinsvilles. Okay? Imagine someone has lived in a human form for 50 plus years. And imagine that, though, like they have, let's say they have lots of accolades and lots of accomplishments. So we're not talking about accolades and accomplishments and properties and monies. Let's say that this person, amongst them, may have emotional things that they didn't address past religion. Let's say they have chemical things. Let's say they have parasites. Let's say they have emotional or personality things that they have not, because you have to get checked out to even find out. That's what the world has got to grab. It's like one must get checked out in order to find out. And most folks who really are plagued with some of this, they're usually the last ones that's going to any kind of therapy or clinic in the first place. Or they're so good at faking, it takes specialists to be able to see through the smoke and mirrors of the performances that they offer. So play with the thought. This is not meant to be insulting. Play with that. And so that stuff comes out somewhere. It comes out how they deal with relationships. It comes out passive aggressively. It's going to happen. So these are people who then, they're Jekyll and Hyde and switch up on you. Or they don't know how to have a balanced way of talking or dealing. And either they ghost you or you'll have to ghost them because of that underlining. So that's another reason why the targets are not as traumatized over time, or shocked or disappointed, or their vibration is not affected in the way that maybe once upon a time it would have been affected, when people act like they cared and wanted to help and then switched it up and disappeared. That didn't happen possibly, but shit. The old bait and switch, strap them in and then suddenly start acting all weird and funny. You know what I mean? So it's okay. The targets are in a vibe of learning how to work with the mastery in spite of all of the variables and hindrances and the alterations that's been done to them. They're working on that. The parable of Jesus under the boat and stuff. They're trying to, that's what's helping carry them. Okay. When they feel cornered in, when they don't have any other option, or when their options are being tainted or tampered with, It's like, okay, this dropped, this disappointed, this company was full of shit. This person was full of shit, or they lied, or they had an agenda, or whatever. Okay, now what? Maybe my now what is, first and foremost, I have to figure out a way how to deal with my vibration, because that's going to be my hope, my saving grace, because it is what it is. Okay, what do I have to? I don't like to use the word grateful anymore, so I'm trying to find language to replace grateful and thank you. It's like, well, what am I honored? What am I honored to have right now? What do I have that I am honored and happy and blissed, acceptance and love and light and honor in my in this now moment? What I have. Okay, so how can I tap into that vibe? How can I regulate? Okay, all right. 2616 on the clock. Okay, and I gotta go.
Let's go to 7-Eleven.
Okay, take care.
Let's go to 7-Eleven. No, you never go. Let's go to 7-Eleven.
7-Eleven is at